Too.
I used to do airsoft. I haven't touched it in over 2 years. It's just there's a lot of politics involved and a lot of cultures there that I just couldn't party with anymore. Just freaking weirdos. Maybe it'll get better now. But when you're a group that doesn't turn anybody away, and you tend to attract, kind of like the mega churches that kind of attract all the people that are too crazy for all the other, forms of Christianity, and the mega church is like, hey, we'll take you, and then you get all the really weird people in one church. I feel like airsoft is that kind of activity where just because they don't turn anybody away, over time they just attracted just a lot of freaking weird people. Yeah. And even though most of the people there were pretty cool and pretty reasonable, these freaking weirdos, I'm like, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah,
I can't do
I've
this.
noticed that too, just from the work I do with my friends. I occasionally help them, like whatever they need me to run registration or something one day.
Yeah, I get it.
Like I occasionally help them, so I see it and I'm like, yeah, this is a rowdy crowd.
Like, who is this fucking guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That dude might be the next school shooter. That one's just, we got some weeb over here. He's weird. That guy seems at least normal.
Here's a dude wearing fishnets. Here's a guy dressed up like a fox. I mean, it's just a lot of fucking weirdos because they're like,
this one identifies as they them. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, it just attracts a lot of weird people, and I'm like, if I wouldn't be comfortable with my kids being around you, I also don't want to be around you. There's better ways to spend my Saturday afternoon. Sorry, not sorry. And that sport, for lack of a better term, just doesn't really add any restrictions, doesn't enforce any limits on what people can wear, the way people act, and it's just...
Yeah. It's like you said, there's a lot of politics too. Like, there's like all these subgroups that all hate each other. It's just weird.
I agree.
Politics. And then my favorite one is you have the guys who think they're really cool. They're actually special operations or something like that.
LARPerators.
Calm down. Yeah.
It's... And there's the other end of it, too. There's the weirdos, and then there's the LARPerators, and then there's just people there having a good time. And it's everything in between. And I noticed over time, because I did it for years. I think I started in about 2008. And probably 2008 till about 2-3 years ago, I was... Early on, I did a lot more. Probably twice a month. And then last 5 years, not so much. I just didn't have time. But... the number of LARPerators on this side and weirdos on this side, they just increased till the number of reasonable cool people were pretty small. And there were, I think the LARPerators were not as bad as the weirdos, but they were still pretty annoying.
Yeah, they're just hardos. It's like, dude.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, stop. I'm too old. I don't care. Like, you're not impressing me. I went to the last thing I did was 2 years ago I wanted to do one of the 40-hour ones with the night vision and all that cool shit.
Oh, yeah.
So I went to this 40-hour one that wasn't too far away from where I was at. And the 40-hour Milsim. And I didn't bring a red light. But I had a thermal scope, but I didn't bring a red light. And, you can't use white light ever. Blah, blah, blah. And here I am trying to... I forget what I was trying to fucking do. Find a pair of socks or something in my pack. And I pull out my white light and some fucking kid who's probably, 22. No fucking white light, you're giving away our position. I'm like, dude, they know exactly where we're at. Okay? I'm just trying to find some fucking socks. Because it's raining. The time I was 43, I'm like, I'm a grown-ass man.
50 yards that way.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck off. I'm getting my fucking socks. I get it. Red light, blah, 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 blah. we're not in Iraq. Okay, so just stop.
Yep.
Just fucking stop with the bullshit. I had enough at that point. It was a good experience. I enjoyed it. And honestly, the kid kind of saw the look on my face, like, and he walked away. He's like, "Oh, this grown ass man's
about to
put a grown ass man whooping at me." Yeah,
Muay Thai background.
I was like,
put it back to work.
I'm fucking done. I had a lot of fun though. I had a thermal scope, so I learned the power of thermal.
Yep.
But I wasn't the only thermal scope there, so.
So you learned the power of thermal.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be whipping ass, and all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, somebody else. Okay, cool.
Okay.
But also, the bad thing about thermal is you couldn't identify who's who.
Yep.
And I found some of the more experienced teams actually wore like camo cover, like the camo netting. They would put that like almost like for lack of a better term, a shawl over their shoulders and their back, like a little cape. And I was like, why the hell are they wearing that? And then I would look at the thermal scope. I'm like, oh, that's why they're wearing that. Yep. So they can easily identify their guys. Yeah, it was interesting. Made it easy for me, too. I'm like, oh, fuck, shoot those guys. But, yeah. Little stuff like that, those experienced guys, those experienced teams that do that stuff a lot, you know. So.
It's, were there actually people there, like, running legitimate night vision?
Oh, yeah. There was probably about 110 players, and of those 110, probably 90 had night vision, and about 5
were they like
duals,
legitimate, or were they like toy night vision?
No, it was duals, and like the low end was PVS 14s, but most of them had duals.
Damn. And
I had a thermal, and they just incorporated me into the team, so we'd be walking along, we'd be doing everything happened at night. Like during the day, you couldn't attack the main base of the other team during the day, so everybody slept. But at night, it was game the fuck on. And it was really fun. I learned a lot about night vision and thermal because I didn't really have a lot of experience with it operationally. And I remember one night we were kind of looking for the enemy base, if you will, and we're kind of trampling through the woods in a squad, pretty big element. And I was the guy with the thermal. So we'd stop about every 100 yards, and I'd glass everything with the thermal, and we'd move on. And then I'd glass, you know what I mean, every 100 yards.
Yep.
And then we got to this spot and we knew we were close to where they were probably at, and all of a sudden I'm seeing all these heat signatures out there, and I'm like, oh, fuck, everybody take a knee, and I'm looking, and it doesn't look right. I'm like, because there's just too much of it. I'm like, God damn, there's definitely something out there, but something's not right. And it was through trees. And then I saw this cow head come up, like a really distinct cow. And I remember dropping the sign. I go, it's fucking cows. And everybody just kind of, because I'm like, holy fuck, there's tons of them. They're all there. This must be their fucking base camp. I'm like, sorry, fellas. It's a bunch of fucking cows. And then sure enough, 100 yards ahead, there's this herd of cattle on the other side of these trees, and it was funny. But yeah. So, but PID through the scope, I'm like, there's a huge heat source up there through the trees. It's cows.
It's cows.
So, but yeah, that stuff's. I mean, it's cool, but there's people who get way too into it, and
I couldn't imagine taking because that is expensive. And taking that stuff and risking it for night vision, or risking it for airsoft. Even just getting a BB just in the lens, the objective lens, like to me,
I think
again,
people they have like Lexan. They put Lexan over them, like real thin Lexan over that, and it protects them. I mean, they're good at protecting their stuff. It's a lot of personalities.
Yeah, that's
it. Just a lot of personalities, and I just couldn't party with them anymore.
Yeah, it's a weird group of people.
Yeah, well, but 3-gun is the same way. Like, I'll go to a 3-gun competition, and I'm just like, fuck, like, why are you so fucking weird? Like, why can't you just be normal? But there's normal. I tell you what, I didn't see at that 40-hour Milsim. I didn't see fucking 200-pound overweight people pretending they
That
were
is true.
total badasses. And here I am at this fucking 3-gun, and I'm like, motherfucker, you are 400 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
And you shoot good, but you don't shoot great. And this is where you get your self-esteem from. Is your performance at this 3-gun competition. I don't know if that's healthy.
Yeah. Maybe
And-
you should spend less time on the range and more time in the gym.
Yeah. And I'll be the first to tell you, competition shooters will outshoot SWAT guys all fucking day.
Oh, of course.
I can hang with them. I can hang in the pack. I can keep my head up and not be embarrassed. But like I did a PRS event and oh look, there's the SWAT sniper, you know, and it's like, yeah, I can hang, but I'm not as good as them. You're just not.
Yeah.
Same thing with 3-gun. And then of course once they know who you are, now they just want to, you know, when it's my turn to shoot, all of a sudden you can feel all the eyes on you, and you're like, oh god damn it, you know.
Yeah.
Now I gotta perform. God help
it's
me
funny
if I
'cause
fucking.
people do that all the time. Well, you're talking about competition, but for like classes, I did a ShivWorks class last January, and there's a lot of good guys there, a lot of professional fighters and so forth. One of them was a SEAL, but he didn't tell anybody the entire class.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to have that target on his back. Like,
No, you don't.
He's a
You
SEAL, so
fucking
now we
don't.
got to go, beat the shit out of him. You didn't want that.
Or you're not allowed. You're not allowed to
here.
fuck up because you're supposed to be superhuman.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
I
make
fucking
mistakes.
missed. Shit happens.
Yeah.
I missed. Yeah. Time for the post-video shameless request for support. If you guys like my content, you want to see more of it, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell. You guys know how YouTube works. Better yet, support my channel. Go to my website, daishotactical.com. There you can find a variety of products that I make myself at my workbench. I make a variety of slings in a bunch of different colors, quite a few different models. I also make shooting bags. Any money spent at the store really does help me moving the channel forward and making more content for you in the future. Thanks for watching.